There are millions of Roblox games to play across this website. Popular and unpopular, Roblox allows you to have a game and share it with the world and have the users play it. And for the most part, Roblox allows you to create anything you want unless it breaks the terms of service. There are some games on Roblox that push the boundaries of what's allowed and what's not. So in today's video, we're going to be delving deep into the darkest Roblox horror games, Iceberg. If you don't know what an iceberg is, let me fill you in. An iceberg video is when a person makes a list of different topics in a set of tiers, the top being the most well-known and the bottom being the most unknown. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Let us begin with the first tier, the surface. The Mimic is one of Roblox's most well-known games in the horror genre. Created by CT Studios, at this point I think everybody has played this game. It was created on January 15th of 2021 and the game has been frequently updated since then, and recently having an update for Chapter 3. The game takes inspiration from certain Japanese history and urban legends. An example of this is the urban legend of, watch this, Hashinshama. I think that's right. The game has spawned a lot of games inspired by it because of its popularity. Games like Faith, Camponk, and Peta Peta all have very similar art styles to the Mimic, and the game currently sits upon 860+ million visits at the time of recording. This is a horror game that has been released recently and has become very popular in a short amount of time. Nightlight, created by Nokian Studios, is about you and some friends, if you play multiplayer, are inside of a house and you have to collect 8 pages that spell out the word selfish, while being hunted by various entities that have different ways of attacking. There isn't much to say about this game. It is good, and it currently has over 30 million visits, and it's going to stay popular for a while now. The Backrooms is one of the most well-known fictional concepts, originating from a 2019 4chan post that followed with this image. I don't think I even need to read the description because of how iconic it is, but on Roblox, the Backrooms is just as popular. Games like Aperiophobia, The Backrooms Infinite, and The True Backrooms were very popular from 2021 to current day. What made these games special was how imaginative it was. You can make any change to the Backrooms in your game and it would feel fresh to the users playing said game. They are still popular and they're going to remain popular for a while now. In my personal opinion, this is one of the most influential Roblox horror games. This style of horror games is capable of being played by 1 to 4 players, has influenced games like The Asylum, and maybe even The Dead. In the description it reads, the #1 scariest game on Roblox, so I don't think he's played other horror games, but we can forget about that. This one was short, but very influential. The last game in this tier, and Sony V3, is basically just a waiting game. You and other people are inside of a white padded asylum while wearing a straitjacket. The objective is to wait for some explosions to happen outside of the asylum and have the door explode open and then try to escape. This will happen if a server you are in is as old as 2 hours or more. The game has been around since 2016 and there has been 3 versions since then. Version 1, 2, and currently version 3 of the Escape badge. The game hasn't had a new version since 2019, but they have recently announced V4 releasing soon. The game has a very loyal fan base, so hopefully we get some sort of update in the future. Containment, Confinement, and Traversal is a soon-to-be trilogy created by Octic. These are horror games that involve lots of puzzles, especially the first game, Containment. The most recently released game is Confinement. This game has 4 chapters, great animation, boss battles, and very interesting ongoing story. The thing that makes these games interesting is the art style. The mix of old Roblox style and the new Roblox style looks absolutely incredible. The heavily detailed monsters make a great reaction when you first play the game too. Dude, you gotta help me, man! And I think the new game, Traversal, will be amazing also. Silent Dark is a game created by Zeekers, who you may know is the creator of Lethal Company. This game is here because of how terrifying it is. It follows you at your house home alone, having weird dreams of this alien-like entity, and the entity begins to attack you in real life. The original game is broken due to Roblox changing the way all games must be coded, so the game is no longer working. But a developer by the name of Hade6 created a remake which currently sits upon 236,000 visits. I don't see a lot of people playing this game, and it's very unfortunate because of how amazing it is. So if you're looking for a one and done psychological thriller, this is the game for you. PM606 is a game created by Smiling Winner, which consists of various mazes with the Smiling Winner's face plastered all over the walls. The original source of this concept comes from a post of the maze that looks exactly the same on YouTube Shorts. According to the wiki, it is a retrace from Flamingo's Smiling Winner's videos that brought the audience towards the game. I used to play this game a lot on the channel. I played the main game in a lot of the remakes, and a lot of the remakes are like the exact same except have like 100 more levels, but I don't really have any interest in the game anymore and probably won't be playing it anytime soon. Calampokephobia is the fear of corn. This game was created by Captain Spinxes. I probably pronounced that horribly wrong, but we move on. This developer has created games like Midnight Horrors, Siren Head, and The Library. Essentially, this is the game where you're in a maze and a big corn monster tries to chase you, and all you have to do is escape, but the maze is like massive, and obviously don't let the corn man catch you. That's pretty much it. Forslug is a verified developer that makes some of the weirdest games I have ever played. The most well-known game is A Dream You've Had Before, which is a game where you go up different levels using stairs, and you can place images and text on the walls using Robux. I have my own text, and if anyone finds it, bonus points go to you. This game also has some of the most obscure badges I have ever seen, and I might make a whole video trying to get them. So if you're interested on that, let me know. His other games consist of Beach Day, Symmetry, Secrets of Myred Park, and lastly, Your Last Thoughts at the End of Time. These games are very interesting to play, and I recommend giving them a shot. A Roblox horror game is a game that I actually played very recently, so I won't have to go into much detail. But this game is the original bait and switch game on Roblox. It disguises itself as a very poorly made game with jokes that haven't really aged all that well, but it turns into something very disturbing. At one of the parts, this is how it turns into the scary part. I won't spoil anything else, either play the game itself or watch my video on it. This is the first semi-disturbing game on the Iceberg. This game is where you walk down this hallway and talk to this NPC. It talks about how he's feeling depressed and how unhappy he is. We learn that the person behind the NPC, supposedly the creator, isn't alive anymore. But the weird thing is that the creator, Fires Mans, hasn't been online in 13 years, and this game was created in 2017, which just doesn't add up. I did some research on September 5th, 2017, and an event that lies on this date would be the DuckTales event. Honestly, I don't think this really relates to this, but yeah, it was worth a shot. We are beginning to enter some pretty dark games that have disturbing content, so if you don't think you can handle this part of the video, please consider clicking off. The game's title is apparently translated to Manager's Room, and the game consists of you walking around the same repeated rooms while being chased by this character. You can move things to block doors, and you have to look for a code to get to the next level. The levels aren't really named, but they consist of storage rooms, computer rooms, and offices. When the thing catches you, your game will crash and you'll have to close the game using Task Manager. And it makes a lot more sense now that the creator, Jackan4, is the same creator of Limbabia. Exit here is a game consisting of a world where everything is full of rust. The world has a lot of uphill and downhill terrain. There are statues of people, or in this case being hailed as gods in this world because of people kneeling before them. There is a house with 4-digit codes constantly being repeated. Some of the 4-digit codes are 9852, 5872, 4175, 4981, and 7318. These are probably just random, but these are the ones I saw. Also in one of the houses, there's a 4-character letters saying J, G, and R. After looking it up on Google, it doesn't show anything related to this game. In the background, there's a sound of maybe a heartbeat of some sort, or it could just be some ambience to the game. This is the creator's only game, but they do have many people on their friends list. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole of this person's friends, some of these games will probably offer more content. The only reason why paralysis is here is because how scary it is. This is a recreation of sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis, according to Google, is a phenomenon in which you regain awareness going into or coming out of rapid eye movement, or REM. In sleep paralysis, you can't move and hallucinations will happen. The hallucinations are what you see in this game. This game is very well known and it has been added to VR, which makes the game 10 times scarier, and I might check this game out in the future. Culmination was created in 2015 by Nathaniel's Nightmares. It looks quite normal at first glance, but the more you play, it becomes to be really weird. If you don't move at spawn point, your character will start to walk on its own. If you fall off the map and touch the edge of this platform, you realize that the walking on its own was a hint, and you can move on to the next area. After making all the builds appear, if you go to this area, you'll be teleported to a game called Nathaniel's Nightmares Place, which is complete opposite color scheme from the original game, where it's all gray and very dark with ambience in the background. There's a statue and there's a pit, and if you fall into the pit, water will start to consume you and the top will be sealed. There's really nothing known about this game, but if you know anything, please consider letting me know. The creator, Nathaniel's Nightmares, was most likely related to Little Nathaniel because of their similar avatars, but this is a pretty weird game, and clearly these two accounts are related in some way. When I played Templum Undundianzo, or The Flooding of the Temple, I'm gonna be completely real with you. It was a fever dream. I didn't expect this game to be this big as in meaning content. There are different levels to this game, the first one being the first layer of the temple, then after that the basement of the temple, and then there's probably much after it, but I didn't finish the game. The description has something read in Latin. According to Google Translate, it reads, "Ocean flows like plant propaganda." This game consists of different puzzles and weird gameplay. If you want the full experience of this game, go check out this video made by ROBLOX Long Plays. I don't want to associate myself with the person behind this game. I'm not going to mention the name of the creator, but I will be separating the art from the artist. The Library of Nirvana, and no, it's not about the band, takes place in a rundown library with many unnamed books. There are paintings on the wall of this person that looks awfully similar to your rapper's favorite rapper. All jokes aside, I think the drawing of this guy is in the glass circle. They look similar, but this is just a shot in the dark. On the other side, there is a tree in the same glass circle as the guy. There is also the Mona Lisa. I don't know why she's here. Also, very eerily, there is shadows that show in the center of the map of figures above the map. When searching for the game on YouTube, people found what was on top. And lastly, there's a book on the ground, and the cover it reads, "Don't fear him." This is all the stuff I found. If you find anything else, please consider letting me know down in the comments. This one will be short, but this is a pretty interesting game that I found. The thing that makes this game interesting is the atmosphere. It's super dark, your camera is zoomed in, and whenever you do something, you'll have this eerie dark voice talking to you.
What do you recall of that night, Mr. Jacob?
You could take this crow and sacrifice it, and when you do, this happens.
You feel the need to sacrifice a crow?
My hands were forced.
The game honestly really freaked me out, and the ending especially was really weird. I haven't found any videos on this game on YouTube, which is really surprising because of how eerie and cool it is. This is a super creepy game and I highly recommend playing it. I think a lot of people know what this game is, but Mugen is essentially a very weird group that creates some of the most abnormal games I have ever seen. And there's a rumor connected to this game that if you join, your IP address will be sent to the creator, which I'm pretty sure isn't true, I think. Some of the games are Sphere Rain, DVD Man, Spawn Location, Zelamon, that's not how it's pronounced, and many more. The majority of these games mostly consist of loud noises, flashing lights, and game crashes, which will be a very common theme in the later layers of this iceberg. Mugen has a lot of YouTube videos covering these weird games, which I highly recommend checking out. Also, Mugen has his own wiki page with everything about it. I've explored some of these games before, but the Hell's Beast trilogy is a trilogy created by, well, Hell's Beast. The three games are Am I Disappearing from Reality, What is Happening to Me, and All I See is Darkness. These games all have the same thumbnail but with a different color scheme. These thumbnails can also relate to the color of each game too. Green is Am I Disappearing from Reality, which takes place on a grass base plate. What is Happening to Me is red, taking place on a rocky base plate with lava. And lastly, All I See is Darkness, being white and having a snow base plate. But the games themselves, they are very uneventful. Nothing really happens from my knowledge. Again, if you find anything, just let me know in the comments. If you are familiar with the Myth community, I think you know this game. But My Dollhouse was a private game created by Low-Hi in 2016. The game is taken down as of 2024, but there are many remakes of the game on Roblox at the moment. My Dollhouse starts off as a normal dollhouse. As you walk around and explore, you'll eventually come across a trigger that moves the dolls around. The more you do this, the more dark the game will become. A part that makes me creeped out is at the 4th or 5th transition, where the orange-haired girl is upstairs, you could touch something that is invisible behind her, which means that this could be some sort of spirit. You can jump on top of them and touch the cross once again, and when you do so, everybody is gone. The lights are off, but the music still remains. When you touch the back of the chair, you will get teleported to the gray version of the house. There are dolls with a very tall thing, and dead bodies hanging in the upstairs. This tall thing explains the invisible thing behind the doll earlier. Apparently the creator of this game is a myth, where this is Lohai's dollhouse, but I'm not entirely too sure. This game is translated to Girls Middle School, and is yet again very weird. There's a constant ambience playing throughout this eerie game. And also, there can be found a noose with a chair at the bottom, which I think you know what that means. At this same spot, there is a chance a face that will flicker on the wall.
Is this like a mirror?
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, you see the mask guy now?
Oh, that's not good.
There isn't really anything known about this game or its origin, but some stuff can be found in the game. Like in an older version, Morse code could appear on your screen. Thanks to this comment by Nuplitz5785, it reads, "She is here, do not see her, why did you do this?" Also, there is a video of this person clipping outside of the map. It doesn't really have anything interesting, but it's still cool. But connecting what the Morse code said to the noose in the game, I think you have an idea of what happened to the girl. This has to be my favorite Roblox myth of all time. Formerly known as Beneath the Mask, True Faces is a myth involving the main person, True Faces, struggling with depression. He is involved in a group called MAD, Mental Assistant Department, and after some struggling with depression, he takes something called Cure 49. This conserves the happiest memories so he can store them for the rest of his life and stop the depression. But because his depression was caused by an accident where his girlfriend passed away, he forgets she even existed, thus showing us trying to find her photos throughout the game. This game has super amazing lore. I've made 3 videos on this game, but they're all like really bad. For example, I edited the first video with the Microsoft photo editing software and decided to repeat the same song on loop for like just over 30 minutes. The original version was much darker than this. It included suicide, blood, death, and then suicide threats. This version was banned and it was remade in mid-2020 and quickly became popular because of its return. There are other games connected with Beneath the Mask. The ones favorited by True Faces are all connected to the lore in some way. If you're willing to hear the same song looped over for a long time, I would recommend watching my old videos on this game because I complete the majority of the content that involves the lore with these games. This will remain my favorite myth game on Roblox. The creator of UKRYTY's place is UKRYTY, and he has a single friend on his friends list. That account is Lohai, the creator of My Dollhouse. The game's description reads, "A man and his child had died in a car accident in Denver, Colorado. The car was found with the man in it near an abandoned area outside of town. His daughter's body was never found and is still missing today. You could come across a sewer of some sort, and at the end of the hallway, you can see a man who has hung himself. The story of this game, in my eyes, goes along the lines of this. The father, I'm guessing, is UKRYTY, and the daughter is Lohai, and they were the people involved in the car crash. Lohai died upon impact, and UKRYTY survived the crash. But because of the grief he had, he decided to end his own life." There is also another game created by Sorene called Tomb of the Great Oak, but at this point in time, the game is banned. This is another short entry, but Red World is a formerly banned game that has been out for a while now. This game is created by Reedster, and is a game formerly that got deleted for apparently showing gore. Also, this old version is basically a PG version of Sad Satan, and a little more red. This old game had very creepy repeating audio, and the game would end with you getting killed by the ball of fire. The new version reminds me of the more common PS1 style games, which makes it less original and interesting in my opinion. I got a text message. But the game has a lot more content and the game ends in the same way as the original. The creator also made a Crossroads fighting game. I don't know how this connects to anything, but that's cool. This is a trilogy of games that I've known for quite a while now, but I haven't talked about them because of how they screwed up my Roblox website. The title of these games basically explain it all. You play the game for a while, then you touch a certain thing, and then your game crashes. The trilogy includes Reflection, Regular Desert, and lastly, whatever this means. Well, apparently it is in Bengali, and it reads, "Why are you doing this to me?" If you're willing to play these games, there's a chance that due to Roblox game crashing, it could mess up the cookies for the Roblox website. But all you have to do is reset them and you'll be good. They're all made by the same dude, and play these games at your own risk. This is a very interesting game created by Red Carclay123, and it is very unknown because it has around 270 visits. This game follows a story, and I'm pretty sure it goes like this. The person is dealing with a lot of stress. We know this because he's writing the word stress over and over at home. He drives to the church to get help, and when he starts to go back from the church, he crashes into the tree and winds up into the hospital, and presuming that he died because of the one gravestone in the graveyard. There are probably some things that I missed, but the story really isn't apparent, but this game is still very interesting. But before we leave this game, I found a gray door in the back of the map. It shows a person in a dark room with a candle to his left. It seems to me that this area is the real world, and the black and white area is all in his head, but really, I'm not too sure. This creator has some really interesting games, and I highly recommend giving them a shot. This is a short game created by 99mirror99. This game has the Japanese language everywhere. And again, these translations are done in Google Translate, so they could be wrong. But the title translates to Why Repent. Next, the description of the game translates to Let's Meet Here. And some additional things, the developer's bio says the dark moon sees everything. You will meet him in the darkness when you perish. But now to the game, you get this note from your grandfather. It reads, Grandfather treasure sight, godly unknown, hurry, truly grandfather. After this, you spawn in the map, which is just a very dark hallway. You do get a flashlight though, which is good. After walking down for a while, you'll come across a door, and to the left, there is a grave. When the door opens, you see this. I'm guessing this is our grandfather based on the letter and the description of the game saying let's meet here, but I'm not entirely too sure. When you touch the thing, it shows you in the grave for a couple of frames and then you get kicked. This game is very unusual and there isn't much known about it like the other games, but the real scary thing about this game is, how the hell is that my grandfather? These are now the most disturbing Roblox horror games I have ever seen. Viewer discretion is advised. Birthday Party is the first game of the last section of the Iceberg, and we're already off to a very disturbing start. This is another game where at first, it seems like a normal birthday party, then takes a very dark turn. When you get close to the people at the party, everything goes gray. In the garage, a noose with a stool can be found. In one of the rooms, there can be found a small person crucified in the closet while wearing some sort of crown. In the bathroom, there's a clothing hanger in the bathtub that's filled with blood. And in the master bedroom, there's a tall figure standing over a small child who is crying. When you get close, you will be killed and teleported into this room, and you can hear police sirens outside. There's also a black page with codes on it. I looked on Reddit and found somebody who broke the codes. Here are the things that they say. I never liked him. I tried to tell my mom, but she said I was just being rude. The second one says, he said they would never believe me, and I thought he was right, which is why I never said anything. And the third one says, it may not have been the first time, but it was finally the last. The bathtub in the garage used to teleport you to some places, but at this point in time, they are restricted. And right now, I have found what they were supposed to teleport you to. I'm not sure which one was which, but the games were called Worship and His Home. And after all of this, I think I have a story behind this game. In the game Worship, we can see a priest and the girl in the same room. And from what I'm guessing, this is a rape. And the clothing hanger in the bathtub just proves that point. At the birthday party, we can see that she is quite happy. This is probably before this happened to her. And from what we could see at the party, the same priest is there, which means that he could be some family friend. The people are gray because it shows how nobody believed her on what happened. Also, the priest says nobody will ever believe you, and that's why she didn't tell anyone about it. Demonic Angel explains this part really well. He says that the tall monster in the bedroom could be the priest. This game is super dark and really screwed up. I want to thank Demonic Angel because I never would have been able to get this information if it wasn't for his Reddit post from 3 years ago. So my friend wanted to do some voiceovers for Sad Satan, so I let him do it because, you know, I felt bad that he wasn't really a part of the video. So I gave him the voice lines right here, you know, this is what he needs to read, and let's see how he does.
Sad Satan is an infamous game found on
Okay, what the fuck?
Sad Satan is an infamous game found on the dark web. There are many screwed up things about this game that I'm not going to get into, but this topic we'll be talking about the Roblox remakes. The fact that some of these Roblox games use actual photos from the real Sad Satan game is very disturbing. Also, the game itself is very scary, with the flashing imagery, creepy reverse songs, dark corridors, and also the dark themes of heaven and hell. I think the most terrifying thing about Sad Sane is the fact that it includes illegal images in the game as jump scares. No warning, it just flashes an image that you wouldn't want to see at all. And for a remake of a game like this is very disturbing and very surprising also.
This game is created by an account with just a random spammed letters. This game can be related to the Game Crash trilogy earlier because the creator of the Game Crash trilogies has this game favorited. You spawn in a blue map with lots of fog. There's a bunch of pillars. There are a bunch of pillars, and after touching every single one, they do nothing. After researching the game on Google, a channel can be found on YouTube with the same name. This probably has nothing to do with the game. I just found it weird that a random game with jumbled letters and numbers, that a channel on YouTube can have the same name, but it probably isn't related to it at all. This game is not fun to play at all. The dark alley of Roblox is basically what the title says. It is a very dark alleyway, and it is on Roblox. The game instantly plays very loud sounds once you join. When I played this game for the first time, I thought I was going to permanently damage my eardrums. What the fuck? But the game itself is really weird too. For example, you can only see a red alleyway, and your camera is stuck in one position. Also, the chat is being spammed with "you do not belong here." The only thing holding me back from exploring this game further is the fear of getting banned. I know this sounds stupid, but it has happened before, and things like this lead right into our next topic. Crosswoods is very well known, but it deserves to be here. This was a situation back in summer of 2022, where a bunch of games named Crosswoods would be released. These were games that the player would join and be met with a loading screen. Once the loading screen is finished, it will play a loud sound and kick the player from the game. When going back to the Roblox website, you'd be met with a Roblox account being terminated for child endangerment. These games blew up with popularity because of that. These games were created by client error, and if you want to see more about this game, I recommend watching these two videos. Happy Town or Happy is a banned game created by Sprimp. This game is about a town full of happy people. The only thing is, they have a very big dark side to them. This game is basically racism the game, because at the very beginning of the game, it says, "Here in Happy Town, the sad people will be punished." The game also has very happy music in the background as all of this stuff is going down. It's unfortunate and fortunate that the game has been taken down, because 1, I'd like to explore this game, but 2, I don't think a game like this should be on Roblox in the first place. Also, beneath the map, there's around 50 sad people are hung by a noose, which is just great. And you can find a door on the map that takes you to the forest. The forest consists of angry people, and the happy people hunt them for sport, which is also really messed up. If you want to see more of this game, I recommend watching the Flamingo video on it. For your own sake, I'd be very careful with this game. Some numbers and letters that once are searched up, it can take you to very weird websites. And I made sure before talking about this game to blur anything involved with it. This is another Game Crash game that nobody has ever heard of. It only has like 63 visits, and when I first found the game, it was around 23. You can come across 2 stones with things engraved in it. After touching the first one, a very loud noise plays and your game crashes. It shows codes, but for your own safety and my own safety, I'm not going to be showing because they take you to like government websites. And the second rock just plays a really loud sound with a blue screen. Well, that was the Iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. These are some of Roblox's darkest games ever, but there are most likely thousands and thousands of even more terrifying and dark games that nobody has ever heard of. And this Iceberg has shown us that even though Roblox is a line that you can't cross with your Roblox game, there are still games that push the boundaries of what's possible and what's allowed. Thanks for watching, and be safe out there. You gotta be safe while playing these games.